Are we live? We're live. So good morning, everyone, and welcome. This is Twist Gaming, where you get to play board games with us. We are coming to you live from PAX Unplugged here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Day 2. All the fun games to show you off on the stream today. And let's get it started today. But first off, who are we? I'm Matt. But usually there's another host on here. So it's usually the who are we or who am I? I'm Matt, as usual. And special guest for today, for right now, Justin from Fireside Games. How you doing today, Justin?
Very good, Matt. Nice to be here. Hello, Internet.
So first off, how is the con treating you so far?
Very good. This is very cool to be at the first PAX ever. We're excited, and it's neat. Today is going to be very fun. See, I know all these people here. It's going to be very interesting because today's the big day where everything's sold out, so exciting.
Oh, that's right. They did sell it a bit.
Yeah. So we'll see how this goes.
So let's jump into the nitty-gritty. Oh, God, I'm slurring my words here.
Awesome.
So you have brought us a game to show off right now. What game is this?
This is Kaiju Crush.
So I could do the...
Look at this. Ta-da! Look at that. This is Kaiju Crush. This is a game where you are a giant monster smashing a city, as giant monsters are wont to do whenever they can. So yes, players are going to pick one of 4 awesome giant monsters. Each one has its own power in combat. In this case, we're doing a 2-player game. You are going to be Mecha Kaiser, and I'm going to be Galathor. And the game is very straightforward in the sense of you're going to move, you're going to smash one of these city buildings, you're going to get points for it, and if we're close enough, we're going to fight. And at the end of the game, most points is going to win, but there are some neat secret objective kind of things we're going for here, and special abilities and stuff.
Very cool.
Your turn is super straightforward. You are going to have a movement card. I'll show that for the camera right there with a little less glare. And look at this, look at this.
They're not invisible, they're green.
Oh, look at that magic floating. It's not actually right there, even though it looks like it is. Yes. So anyway, these cards all have different movement on them. They tell you which direction you can go, up, down, left, right. Leap moves like a knight in chess. And you're always going to have one that you've been dealt, and then there's one that's going to be out. Sorry, it's hiding over here. There we go, that way. You're going to have one that's dealt in front of you to the community card over here. So so basically 2 options on your movement. The trick is whichever one you use to move is going to become the new community card. So if I use dash, it's going to swap out. And now I'm the only one who can use trample, but you all can use dash.
So it's continuously rotating your different ways that you can move.
Exactly. Now, if I use the community card, it stays out there. So I don't have to swap it out, but if I use mine, it's flipping out. So I use dash, which means I can move 2 in any direction. I can't go off the edge of the board, but I can get over here to this nice, juicy 3-point water tank. So I go...
Orthogonally.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Orthogonal. And I put down my territory marker, which looks like a crater with my footprint and my color on it. Boom, I have smashed that thing. So every tile is worth points. Here, show our viewers at home.
Okay, so this is worth how many points?
That is worth 3 points, because that's what it says on it.
It's like the semi-transparent.
Man, if they were actually like that, that would be pretty sweet, but they're not. Yes. So, that's a 3-point card for the water tower. And if you notice, it has a little symbol above it. Looks like a bunch of people's heads. Indeed. That's a community one. There are different groups in the game, essentially like suits. There's community, commercial, power, and transportation. And those come into play in the game, too. But for right now, this is a 3-point card. Now, once I've smashed it, it's mine forever. It can never be taken. However, this space might be taken. So that was the first part of my turn. I moved. There is no monster next to me, so I wouldn't fight. That's literally the end of my turn. So now it would be your turn. You can either move like a knight in chess, or you can use the dash.
So if I did do the leap, the knight in chess movement, I could actually leap onto the same space as you?
You could if you wanted. Yes, you can come next to me or on the same space.
So what happens there?
We're going to have a battle, and the winner is going to get to put their territory marker on this spot. So you might be able to take it away from me.
I like the sound of that.
Okay, all right. So you're going to play your leap card, which means it swaps out to become the new community card. You go up and over, and it is on like a Kong of some form. All right, here's the way it works. Your territory marker cards, as beautiful as they are, have a secret backside with all these crazy symbols on it that we're going to use to fight.
Ooh.
So here's what you're going to do. Draw the top 6 of your deck. Okay. I draw the top 5.
3,
Why are they different?
4.
Because that is Mecha Kaiser's superpower. You go into battle with 1 extra choice. What we're going to do is we're going to have a best of 5 battle, and we're going to use a modified rock, paper, scissors version. If you want to show the viewers, that's how it works. So that little symbol there shows you a bunch of different things. There's a claw, a tail, and a pair of legs kicking. That's the rock, paper, scissors engine. The claw.
Claw beats tail, tail beats kicking, kicking beats claw.
You got it. That's the basic of the engine. Then on the top, we have a fire breath card. That beats all 3 of the basic rock, paper, scissors icons. Just flat out trumps them all. However, all 3 of the basic rock, paper, scissors beat spikes on the bottom there. So it seems like spikes is a terrible card, but it's the only card that will beat fire breath. So we've got rock, paper, scissors on steroids here, essentially, is what we've got. So you have got your 6 cards. You may look at them. This is a hand of cards. You're going to play in any order or kind you want. And what we're going to do is we're going to, when we're ready, we're going to flip over from face down to face up and see who's the better monster.
So how many? Just once that we're doing this?
We're going to do the best of 5 battles. You have an extra card to choose from, but we're going to do the best of 5.
Okay, so let's start it out here.
All right, here we go.
Flip.
Rawr. Oh, a claw.
claws.
So this is a tie. Normally, a tie is a loss for both players, so we both flip it face down to show we lost. So it was a nice try, but we unfortunately lost. Now, just so you know, Steganox over here, the yellow guy, he wins on ties of the basic rock, paper, scissors one. So that would have been a win for him. My special ability, I win on ties of fire, breath, or spikes. So if you were to lay one of those, I might be able to do something about it. But in the meantime... kick beats tail. So I go face up, you go face down. So I have 1 victory here. For my next trick, rah! Ooh, fire breath spikes. Nice job. He put it back on me, and I am down 1. All right, we go on to battle 4.
I'm trying to read you right.
No, man, don't even try.
Okay.
Claw grabs tail.
Come on.
All right, here we go. And this is the final battle. You get 2 cards to pick from. I'm down to my last one.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
Rawr, claw, loss.
Okay.
Okay, so it ends up I have more than you, so the best of 5, I have the 2 wins. So I win, and because I'm the defender, what that means is, well, let me back up. Anytime you have a fight and there's a victor, somebody's getting one of these combat victory tokens. They look like monster scales. You tore off your opponent.
Okay.
They're 1 to 3 points. Secretly, I will keep mine over here on my guy for points towards the end of the game. And normally, that's all that happens in a fight. However, if you're on the same space like this, like I said, the winner gets the territory. I defended, so I keep my territory. But if you had won, I would have lost this space, and you would have... boom, taken it. So, but that didn't happen because I'm just super good at being a monster, it turns out. Yay for early Saturday morning luck. Cards that you used in the combat go face down in any order you want, but they go right back to the bottom of your deck. So you will see them again. Yeah.
Okay.
And now, the reason you want to fight is twofold. 1, I just made some points for combat. That's always awesome. But 2, you might have been able to mess with the positioning on the board. And here's how it works. You can never move to a space that's a crater. They're off limits once you've smashed it. Even if it's your own color, you can never go back to a crater. So as more and more tiles get smashed, we're going to have a harder and harder time moving around this board. You're going to take some stuff, I'm going to take some stuff, and eventually we're all going to get pinned in somewhere and have to pass. That's when the game ends. We'll score up all the points.
Okay.
So that's the sort of final thing. Now, before then, we're all going to have a special ability we might want to use. Like I, for example, have Geoleap. It's one of my favorites. It lets you break the rule of not going off the edge of the board, and instead, if I go off on one side, I wrap around to the other.
So now I have a Giga Smash here. So remove a park tile from the board after you use it and replace it with your territory marker.
Yes. So parks are a little bit different. Parks, if you can see, do not have any kind of scoring value or group they belong to. Instead, when you land on a park, you can't stay. You have to move again. You can never claim a park. You have to bounce off it. So it's like getting a second move. And it's a great way to sort of like get out of jail and bounce around to some crazy spot. And yes, if you can go from park to park, you can actually chain them together kind of thing. And I think I covered up a couple of parks here.
Like a nice mosey through the park.
Yes, you could wander through the park. Exactly. Your card lets you take that park and turn it into one of your territory markers, which is very nice. These are one time only, though. The superpowers, once they're done, they're done. But anyway, like I said, we're going to get to a point where we're passing, and then we're going to look at the cards and score them up. So before then, you would be paying attention to these A, B, and C objective cards because they're worth points at the end of the game. The A card has to do with what the board looks like at the end regarding your territory markers. So let's say I had this for my territory markers. Right. When you're playing with concentrated, it means you get 1 point for every card that's in your biggest area, and an area is like anything that's not diagonally connected like that. Okay. So this would be one area.
On the long side.
Bingo. This is not part of my area. So I would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's how many I'd get for concentrated. Avoider has to do with the groups. So again, this one card was from the community group. As I said, there's the, there we go, the transportation group, the other ones like that. You score up who has the most of each group, and they get points for that card. Okay. This one of my favorites, C, has to do with the shape. Were you able to make that shape on the board? And yes, I did make a square. I would make points. And the cool thing about squares and shapes, they do overlap. That's 2 squares. That's 6 points, 3 for each one. So there's a reason to go fight people and take their spot away, or challenge someone if you want to break up one of their shapes.
Break up their grouping.
Exactly. There's multiple reasons to fight. Now, the D card is a little bit different. It does not affect endgame scoring. Instead, it comes into play. And the way it works is there's one... Quick view there for our people at home. There's one for each group in the game. That affects the power group. That affects the community group. Mm-hmm. And it's based on who has the most of that tile. So if we're playing the game and I've smashed more power cards than anybody else, I will get the powerhouse card. And it's basically a power-up ability. As long as I have it, when I use my one-time only special ability card, I will draw a new one to replace it. So it keeps you sort of flowing in special ability cards. Oh. Now the trick is, if you come along and take one more power card than me, you've got more. Now it's your card, and you get that ability. This gets passed around. Pretty crazy.
I like it.
Yes. So, like I said, the D card is passed around, and it's a sort of modular power-up kind of thing. Now, another really fun thing is every one of these cards is double-sided with a variant objective on the back. So, and not only that, but there's an extra C card in the game and an extra D card in the game. So there's a ton of variability. Like now for groups, instead of scoring your biggest area for 1 point, you score every area as 1 point. So instead of getting whatever I had 6 over here, I got 1, 2. Now I have 2 points via spread. Totally changes the way you're going to play your game, what you're going to fight for, how you're going to move. Now I'm scoring a line instead of a square. In case of this one, it's either who has the most or the fewest of a group. So that's going to change. And then, like I said, there's one of these for each of the suits, and they all do something different. Civil Servant, in this case, if you have this one, if you have the most of the community cards, it turns all of your craters into parks. Everyone can bounce off of your craters now.
Man. So
completely changes the game. Yeah, these D cards really throw some wildness into the game there. And the game expands too for players. Like right now, this is a 2-player game in a 6x5 layout. 6x6 for 3 players, 6x7 for 4.
Oh, so it's modularly
expanding. Yes, and there's new cards that come in with higher point values. There's another park that gets thrown in and stuff. And obviously, you can have more room to maneuver kind of thing too. It's mostly meant to keep the gameplay time consistent for the same groups kind of deal.
How does that affect the gameplay time going from like 2 players up to like a 4-player?
Boom, keeps it very, very stable that way. Because in a 2-player game, I mean, you could play the full board, but it's going to be a little too long and you won't fight much. You won't run into each other the way we wanted you to. So
right.
Fighting is optional when you're the attacker, but when you're the defender, you have to fight for it. So that's the deal. But yeah, that's basically it. You're running around smashing buildings again. And the point salad at the end is that once we've finished everything out, we can't move, we're all done, you're going to add up all the points for every city building you smashed, all your awesome combat points, which I got a whopping 1, so it wasn't all that awesome combat. And then you get points for everyone scores these objectives. Were you able to get a line? Awesome, you get points for that. Player who has the most points wins, and if you tie on final points, there's a final battle to the death to determine the tiebreaker. So,
and that's your rock paper modified rock.
Yes,
paper
exactly. Yeah, the rock paper combat system.
There.
Yep. That is it.
Very cool.
So there you go. That's Kaiju Crush. Came out November 1st, so it's a pretty much brand new game.
So where can we find Kaiju Crush?
Well, if you come by the booth, 1048, I will be happy to demo it to you. Unfortunately, I have a pallet that didn't arrive, so I cannot sell it to you. But your local game store or Amazon would be more than happy to get you a copy. So
support your friendly local game store.
Yes, do that.
All right, so is there anything else you wanted to touch on with Kaiju Crush, Justin?
No, we're excited to get this out there. Come by and play it. We're having a lot of fun showing this one off. If you like giant monsters and you want something different than some of the other ones that's out there.
Are there people that don't like giant monsters?
I've heard the rumor that they may exist, but I think they're like Loch Ness. No one's really seen them.
There you go.
No.
Loch Ness and Sasquatch.
Yeah.
It's not a real thing.
No, it's all imaginary. It's all made up.
All right, so thank you all for joining us today. Stay tuned for more of the live coverage coming to you from PAX Unplugged in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. But signing off for now, this is Matt with Twist Gaming. See you later.
Bye, guys.
Thanks again, Justin.
You bet.
My mother used to say, always use your accessories to display the things you love. That's the inspiration behind the Tabletop Talisman collection by Twist Gaming. I worked with Twist Gaming because such a passionate group of people have brought together as many gamers as, well, just about anyone. My wish is that the Tabletop Talisman design becomes the universal symbol of gaming culture. Because with Tabletop Talisman,